Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, text number 32. Dvastav Adishya Bhagavan Dvastav Adishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarva Atishayaya Lakshmya Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Swam Dishnyam Avishat Jushtam Swam Dishnyam Avishat Dvastav Adishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Swam Dishnyam Avishat Dvastav Adishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Swam Dishnyam Avishat.
Vasavadishya Bhagavan Vimana Shreni Bhushanam Sarvatishayaya Lakshmya Jushtam Swam Dishnyam Avishat
Dvastav to the doorkeepers. Adishya, just directing them. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vimana Shreni Bhushanam, always decorated with first class airplanes. Sarva Atishayaya, in every respect extensively opulent. Lakshmya, opulences. Jushtam, bedecked with. Swam, his own. Dishnyam, abode. Avishat, went back. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. After thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. Please repeat the translation. After thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is clear from this verse that all the incidences took place at the entrance of Vaikuntha Loka. In other words, the sages were not actually within Vaikuntha Loka but were at the gate. It could be asked, how could they return to the material world if they entered Vaikuntha Loka? But factually they did not enter and therefore they returned. There are many similar instances where great yogis and brahmanas, by dint of their yogic practice, have gone from this material world to Vaikuntha Loka, but they were not meant to stay there. They came back. It is also confirmed here that the Lord was surrounded by many Vaikuntha airplanes. Vaikuntha Loka is described here as having splendid opulence, far surpassing the splendor of this material world. All other living creatures, including the demigods, are born of Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita in the 10th chapter, Aham Sarvasya Prabhaha. Lord Vishnu is the origin of all manifestations in the material world. Those who know that the Lord Vishnu is the origin of everything, who are conversant with the process of creation, and who understand that Vishnu or Krishna is the most worshipable object of all living entities, engage themselves in Vishnu worship as Vaishnavas. The Vedic hymns also confirm that Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. The goal of life is to understand Vishnu. The Bhagavatam also confirms this elsewhere. Foolish people, not knowing that Vishnu is a supreme worshipable object, create so many worshipable objects in this material world, and therefore they fall down. Doesn't see Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Lord Vishnu spoke to the doorkeepers. He informed them why they were cursed, and the solution for that also, what will be the consequences. After thus speaking with them, the Lord went back to his abode. That's what the context we say here. Dvastav Adishya Bhagavan, to the doorkeepers, after informing them, Adishya, giving respective instructions. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord. Vimana Shreni Bhushanam, the opulence of Vaikuntha world, where there are many airplanes decorated with first class airplanes. Vimana Shreni means the best of the airplanes which are roaming around in Vaikuntha. Sarvatishayaya Lakshmiya, and the opulence of Vaikuntha was also beyond imagination. Sarva Atishayaya means beyond the normal Vaikuntha material world opulence. You cannot even estimate the opulence of Vaikuntha world. Justam Swam Dishnyam Avishad. Swam Dishnyam Avishad. The Lord entered back to his abode. So this is saying about the decoration of Vaikuntha, the opulences in Vaikuntha, the Vimana, the airplanes in Vaikuntha, and the entire discussion happened at the door of Vaikuntha. So after thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, Dvastav Adishya, the Lord returned to his abode. Bhagavan Swam Dishnyam Avishad, where there were many celestial airplanes, Vimana Shreni Bhushanam, and all surpassing wealth and splendor. Sarva Atishayaya Lakshmiya Justam. So this is the atmosphere of Vaikuntha, or the nature of Vaikuntha has been described here. So one specific point also was explained. The Kumaras, they did not enter actually Vaikuntha. So they were actually, entire discussion was happening at the door of Vaikuntha. So they came back to this material world. So it is clear from this verse that all the incidences took place at the entrance of Vaikuntha Loka. Actually the sages were not within the Vaikuntha Loka, but were at the gate. So the context we know, the Kumaras, who were impersonal understanding liberation. So for impersonalists is an opportunity to enter into Vaikuntha Loka. So that's why they did not enter Vaikuntha Loka. Their curiosity has brought them up to Vaikuntha Loka. Their curiosity has enabled them to see Lord Vishnu. But for that, again, the mercy of pure devotees is required. Brahma had blessed them. So they got that understanding about Vaikuntha Loka, they developed that curiosity, they came up to Vaikuntha Loka, but the tinge of impersonal liberation is there within their consciousness. So that has to be cleansed. So Lord enacted a pastime where the doorkeeper stopped them. There was a confrontation between Kumaras and the doorkeepers. The Lord appeared there. When the Lord appeared there, they paid their obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord. The fragrance that emanated from the lotus feet of the Lord changed their consciousness. In the last chapter, we saw how all these things happened here. Now, how do we understand this perspective of this Vaikuntha Loka? Who can go? Who cannot go? Who cannot enter into Vaikuntha Loka? The 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita explains this perspective. Krishna explains, this chapter is called as Purushottama Yoga. The Lord of Uttama Purusha, the best personality. How to achieve that Uttama Purusha. So Krishna starts with an analogy. He explains about Ashwattha Vriksha. What is the basis for this Ashwattha Vriksha? Why is Krishna starting with this analogy? See, Bhagavad Gita is divided into three aspects. The first 6 chapters are called as which? Karma Yoga. The next 6 chapters, Bhakti Yoga. The last 6 chapters, Jnana Yoga. Jnana means knowledge. Knowledge to become detached from this material world. From the 13th chapter, we see systematically Krishna is explaining how we are not this body. How we are spirit soul and what is the position of the spirit soul within this material world. 13th chapter has clear demarcation. Who is the doer? Jiva, material nature, Paramatma. Then it explains about Purusha Prakriti, Kshetra Kshetrajna, Jnanam Jnayam. The specific analysis, this is Sankhya Yoga philosophy. After that, 14th chapter starts with 3 modes. Understanding material world is complete when we understand the 3 modes. How the modes impact a personality. That's why in the starting of 14th chapter, Krishna says, this is the Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. This is the best of the knowledge I have explained. In 9th chapter, Krishna said, this is the best knowledge. But again, this chapter he says, Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. Of all the knowledge, this is the most important knowledge. Why? How to become detached from this material world is the most important knowledge. So in that basis, Krishna explained in the 14.26 how one can become liberated. Mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samitityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So when you perform avyabhichari bhakti, mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. When you do avyabhichari bhakti, unalloyed devotional service to the Lord, sagunan samitityaitan, you can rise above the bhuyaya kalpate. You will come to that transcendental platform, Brahman realization. Means you come to the platform of spirit soul, you rise above this materialistic consciousness, you come up to the spiritual level consciousness. Now to advance towards spiritual consciousness, one thing is you have to become detached from matter. So what is that matter which is binding you to the material world is explained in this analogy of 15th chapter. That's how the basis starts. Krishna explains there is an Ashwattha tree, a banyan tree. How is this banyan tree? This is Ulta banyan tree. How? An owl stands in a tree, Ulta. So this banyan tree is also Ulta. So it said it is like a shadow. Where can we experience this Ulta banyan tree? Bank of a river. You see the reflection, it will be 180 degrees Ulta. So it is the reflection of the spiritual world in this material world is symbolically explained on this banyan tree. Then what is the seed for this banyan tree? Desire. One day you desired, I want to become like Krishna. Krishna provided a medium, a facility to imitate Krishna. In this material world, everybody wants to be lauding tendency. Imitate Krishna. So the desire is the seed for this material world. Then what are the roots? Once a seed is there, it starts growing. So there are roots for this tree. The real root of this material existence grows upwards. This means that the total material substance, the topmost universe, the topmost planet is Brahmaloka. From there, all the roots are coming. They are fixed towards that peak. Then secondary roots grows towards Burloka and the lower planetary systems. And they are all bound to the fruitive actions, karma. According to karma, Abrahma Bhavana local, we taking birth. And secondary roots are attachments and aversions. The dual is Papa Punya attitude. Then this tree has branches, tree has leaves, tree has twigs, tree has tips, fruits. It is nourished by something. All the technical details Krishna explains by saying the branches which grow upward and downward. You can either become liberated from this tree or you can become bound up into the lower planetary systems, lower species of life. The leaves are the Vedic hymns, and the twigs are sense objects, and the tips of the branches are the senses, and the fruits are dharma, artha, kama, moksha, which everybody wants in this material world. And the nourishment is, the three modes is the nourishment for this tree, which is enriching this tree. Then living entities' involvement in this tree are, they hop from one branch to another. You see monkeys, when they are on a tree, they jump from one branch to another. Like we are also jumping from one body to another. So we keep hopping. Then can't see how far this tree extends or where it ends. There is no Adi, there is no Anta to this tree. Then although the living entities are eternal parts of the Lord, they are struggling with the senses. How they are bound up? Manasastani indriyani prakritistani karshati. Although we are Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, we are eternal in nature. But because we are Amsha of Krishna. But how we are bound up in this material world? Mana Shashta Indriyani. The mind, including of other five senses, because of this mind and the five senses, we are become bound in this material world. Because we run after sense enjoyment. And we become bound because of mind and the five senses. Struggling hard, it says. Prakritistani karshati. We are struggling hard in this world. Now, what is the solution? How to come out of it? So, to come out of this, we should find a person who is in knowledge about this tree. Hear from him properly. Understand the relationship between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Then, through that personality, we should surrender to the Supreme Lord. And there should be no false prestige that he is the Lord of this material world. He should be free from illusion. He should give up this false association. He should be free from this duality. Then one becomes qualified to enter into the spiritual eternal world. So it says, Nirmana Moha Jitasanga Dosha. If you have this qualification, then we can enter into Vaikuntha, it says. Nirmana means no false prestige. Mana means prestige. So Nirmana means no false prestige. Jitasanga Dosha. We should be free from all these Sanga Dosha, unwanted attachments, association. Nirmana Moha Jitasanga Dosha Adhyatya Nitya Vrinivritta Kamaha. We should understand the eternality of the self. Adhyatma Nityaha. You should understand your nature as a spirit soul and its eternality. Vrinivritta Kamaha. You should be free from this lust tendency. Dvandver Vimukta Sukha Dukkha Samyar. We should be free from this duality of this material world as Sukha Dukkha. We should be equal in Sukha Dukkha Samyar. Gachanti Amuda. Those who are not foolish, those who are intelligent, Gachanti, they go Padam Avyayam, that they go to that eternal spiritual world. And what is the nature of that spiritual world? Krishna explains, Natat Bhashyate Shuryo Na Shashanko Na Pavakaha. That nature of this world is, there is Natat Bhashyate Shurya. There is no sun. You don't require sunlight there. You don't require moonlight there. You don't require electricity there. Prabhupada says electricity. Actually, it is fire. Through fire, electricity is generated. You know how coal mines work? How electricity is generated from coal? So, coal is burnt. From that excessive heat, electricity is generated. So, through fire, electricity is generated. So, Prabhupada is saying electricity is not required because we can understand only that language. So, what is the nature of that world? Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama marmam mama. Once you attend to that world, you will never come back to this material world. So, this is a glimpse of who can enter into Vaikuntha. Krishna explained. Now, in various shastras about this explanation is given. Tat paramam padam brahma sarvam vibhajate jagat mamaiva tadnam tejo jnatum arhasi bharata. O Bharata, this is in Harivamsha, it says, that Supreme Brahman lights up the whole universe. How that spiritual world doesn't require light? What is the Brahman effulgence? Brahman effulgence is bodily light of the Lord. So when the bodily light coming from Goloka Vrindavana is so heavy, do you require any other light there? And these personalities are so transcendentally effulgent, individual personalities. By their bodily effulgence itself, they light up the entire arena. Pure devotees, they are all. So you should know that this is the intense light that belongs to me. So Krishna is saying, oh Bharata, that light which is lighting up this entire Vaikuntha Loka, entire Brahman atmosphere, is the light which is emanating from my body. You should know that it is me. Then, na tatra surya bhati, na chandra tarakam. So the sun does not shine there, nor does the moon, nor stars there. Nema vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi. Nor does their lighting shine, nor does their fire burn. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasha sarvam idam vibhati. When he shines, all of them shine. Means all the light, whatever we see in this material world, is the reflection of the Lord's light. Through his light, all things shine. Which is that sloka in Brahma Samhita, which explains about sun god. Yachakshuresu savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha tejaha yashajnaya brahmati sambrata kala shakro govinda madhu purushontam hamajam. The sun, which is the king of this material world. So where does he derive his light from? He derives his light from the Supreme Lord. This is a glimpse of the Supreme Lord in this material world. So this is the nature of the spiritual world. You don't require any artificial lighting there. The things are so naturally light up that the bodily effulgence from the Lord, that is sufficient. That is more than sufficient. So there is one more perspective. We understand what is difference between material world and Vaikuntha. Is there any difference? Explain the contrast between material world and Vaikuntha. What are the qualities of material world? What is first definition of Vaikuntha means? No anxiety. Material world is only anxiety. Padam anxiety only. Next, in spiritual world, is there birth, death, old age and disease? In material world, cycle of birth and death, old age and disease. Next, what is one more difference? In material world, body is different, soul is different. In the spiritual world, the soul and the body are one. The nature of material body is made of material elements. The nature of spiritual body is Satchitananda. Next. In the material world, there is no happiness. People are aspiring for happiness. Spiritual world is full of happiness. And the nature of spiritual world is, in material world, if you do little activity, we become exhausted. We become distasteful for anything we do. In the spiritual world, you do repeated activity, but you experience the more newer and newer taste out of it. So this one experience we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his leelas, the different people who are not devotees, they experience what is like Vaikuntha atmosphere. So we'll see that perspective here. It says, Snana yatra deki prabhura haila bada shuka, Ishwarera anuvashare paila bada dukka. So after observing Snana Yatra festival, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy. But after Snana Yatra, for 15 days, Jagannatha will go for seclusion. Anavasara period it is called. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very sorrowful because he could not have darshan of Krishna. Gopi bhave viraha prabhu vyakulahana. In the mood of separation of gopis, he became very anxious. Alalnatha kela prabhu sabare chadiya. He left everybody and went to Alarnath to have association of the Lord there. Pache prabhura nikata aila bhaktagana gauda haite bhakta aise kaila nivedana. After some days again other devotees came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, the devotees from Bengal are coming for Rath Yatra. So please come to Jagannath Puri. Sarvabhauma Nilachale aila prabhulana prabhu aila rajatani kahilena giya. So Sarvabhauma brought Lord Chaitanya back to Jagannath Puri. And he went to Prataprudra to inform him of the Lord's arrival. हेन काले आइल तथा गोपीनाथ आचार्य राजा के आशीर्वाद करी कहे सुना भट्टाचार्य. At that time, Gopinatha came there. He also blessed the Raja because he is a Brahmana. He blessed the Raja. And he started speaking to Bhattacharya. Gauda haite Vaishnava ashite chena duishata Mahaprabhu Bhakta Sabha Mahabhagavata. All the great devotees of Lord Chaitanya had come from Bengal. Around 200 people have come. Duishata. They are all great personalities. Mahabhagavata. And they are all hardened devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Narendra Asiya Sabha Haila Vidyamana Tan Sabara Chahi Vasa Prasada Samadana. So they all came up to Narendra Sarovara and they are all camping there. So I request that to be provided residential facility and prasadam facility for all of them. Raja kahe Padicha ke Ami Ajna Diba. I'll inform the temple commander to facilitate everything. Vasadi ye chahiye Padicha Sabha Diba. So what and all, the residence, prasadam, everything and all, the Padicha will provide the facilities for you. Mahaprabhura Gana Yara Aila Gauda Haite Bhattacharya Eka Eka Dikaha Amate. So he was asking he said all the great people have come, great devotees have come. I wanted to know who and all have come. Please show me Bhattacharya. Bhatta kahe Attalikaya Kara Arohana Gopinatha Chine Sabare Karaha Darshana. So let us climb into the top of the palace. So we'll be able to see all the people from there. I'm actually not aware. Gopinatha Acharya was well aware of them. He will identify each of them and he will show us who has come. Ami kaho nahi chini, chinite manahoya, Gopinatha Acharya sabare karaya parichaya. So Gopinatha Acharya will teach who and all have come. I am not conversant with all of them. Eta boli tina jana attalikaya chadila, hena kale Vaishnava sabha nikate aila. So they all started walking. So all of them three got onto the top of the palace. So there, all the personalities were explained. Advaita Acharya, Srinivas Thakur, and many names were all explained by Gopinath Acharya. After hearing all the names, Damodara Swarupa Govinda Duvijana Mala Prasada Lanayaya Yahan Vaishnavagana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first sent these two personalities, Swarup Damodara and Govinda, to receive all the guests. So they were given with garlands and chandana to receive the guests. Pratame Mahaprabhu Pataila Dunhare Rajakahe Ye Dui Kon Chinaha Amare. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had sent these two people. So Raja was asking, who are these two people who came here? Bhattacharya kahe, Ye Swarupa Damodara Mahaprabhu Haya Inha Dvitiya Kalevara. He is Swarupa Damodara. He is a second in person to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Dvitiya Govinda Bhrutya Ihan Donha Diya Mala Patana Ichena Prabhu Gaurava Kariya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent these two people. He is Govinda, the personal servant of the Lord. On behalf of the Lord, these two have come to receive all the guests of the devotees. Ado Mala Advaitera Swarupa Paraila Pache Govinda Dvitiya Mala Ani Tandre Dila. First, Swarupa Damodara garlanded Advaita Acharya, then Govinda put that second garland. Tabe Govinda Dandavat Kaila Acharya re, Tanre Nahi Chini Acharya Puchilya Damodare. So Advaita Acharya could not identify who is this person. So he asked Swarupa Damodara, who is this person? Because Swarupa Damodara is a resident of Nadia. So they all know each other. Damodara kahe, Ihara Govinda Nama, Ihara Ishwarapurira Sevaka Ati Gunavan. He is the servant of Ishwarapuri, disciple of Service Puri, the great personality. He is by name Govinda. Prabhura Sveva Karaite Puri Ajna Dila Atayeva Prabhu Inha ke Nikate Rakila. So his guru ordered him, Ishwarapuri, go and serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he has come here and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept him under his service. See, generally, Govinda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are God brothers. So we should not take service from the God brothers. So, but here, because spiritual master had ordered them, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them under his service. Or else we should not take any service from our God brothers. This is the principle what we hear. Because we are all meant to serve the Lord, meant to serve the spiritual master, not to serve another personality. But on the order of spiritual master, then they have been accepted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raja kahe, Yanra Mala Dila Duijana, Acharya Teja, Bada Mahanta, Kaha Kon Jana. So then These two people have garlanded that person. He is very effulgent. That bodily effulgence of that person was so heavy, so great. Who is that person to whom this mala has been done? Acharya kahe inhara nama Advaita Acharya. Bhattacharya said, Gopinath Acharya said, his name is Advaita Acharya. Mahaprabhura Manya Patra Sarva Shirodharya. He is the leader of all the devotees, Sarva Shirodharya. And Mahaprabhura Manya Patra, and he is most worshipped or honored by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See, when you see that personality like Advaita Acharya, even the king was able to identify a great personality. Means by their bodily structure, by their bodily effulgence itself, they presented themselves as a superior personality. This is one quality what we see. By their bodily symptoms, that hava bhava or the physiognomy, they can be identified as great personalities. Raja kahe, deki mora haila chamatkara, Vaishnavera aicha teja deki nahiyara. The king said, I have never ever seen such an effulgence of these Vaishnavas. I am so much astonished by their bodily effulgence. Means one more symptom of the great personalities. Even the king was experiencing, these are all not common people, they are somebody very heavily advanced devotees. Koti Surya Samasabha Ujjvala Varana. Their bodily effulgence is like Koti Surya Sama. Like crore suns which is coming out of their bodily effulgence. Kabu nahi suniye madura kirtana. And the kirtana, what they are doing, Kabhi, never I have heard such a nice kirtana. See, the devotees itself, their bodily effulgence in this material world is like Koti Surya. Then you can experience when they are in the spiritual world, how much more effulgent it will be. Do you require any artificial light there? So this is one more reason why you don't require light in the spiritual world. Then, the kirtana, how they are performing, it is like something beyond material understanding. He said, never ever I have experienced such a nice kirtana. Aiche prema, aiche nrutya, aiche haridvani, kaha nahi deki, aiche kaha nahi suni. That love of Godhead, that dancing, that chanting of the holy name, never ever I have heard, never ever I have seen. This is one more Vaikuntha experience. Bhattacharya kahe, e madura vachana chaitanyara shushti, e prema sankirtana. This is called as prema sankirtana, which was created by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Avatari Chaitanya kaila dharma pracharana, kalikale dharma Krishna nama sankirtana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it descended in this material world to preach this gospel of holy name. And for this Kali Yuga, this holy name is the liberation perspective. Sankirtana yajna tanra kare aradhana, Shaita sumedasa ara, Kali hatajana. The people who are afflicted by this Kali Yuga, they worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through this Sankirtana yajna. Raja kahe, Shastra pramana Chaitanya hona Krishna. When the Shastras are directly saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Krishna, tabe keda pandita sabha tanhate vitrishna. Why all these scholars are not attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Bhatta kahe, tanra krupa lesha hoya yanre, seita tanhare, Krishna kari loita pare. So unless they receive the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will not be able to take shelter of him. Means unless blessed by the Lord, nobody can understand that he is Krishna himself, nobody will be able to get associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So for that we require mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kripa lesha, just a fragrance of that mercy. Raja kahe, sabe Jagannatha na dekiya, Chaitanya vasa gruhe chalila dana. So when they came here to come to have darshan of Jagannatha, without having darshan of Jagannatha, they are running towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. Why? Bhatta kahe, eita swabhavika prema rita, Mahaprabhu milibare utkantita chitta. Their anxiousness to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the ecstasy of that love of Godhead. So much they are in that mood to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Aage tanra mili sabe tanra sange lana, tanra sakenge Jagannatha dekilena giya. So all the devotees will first meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then taking with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will all go to have darshan of Jagannatha. Raja kahe, Bhavanandera putra Vaninatha, Prasadalana sange chale panchasata. With 5-6 people, Vaninatha is carrying heavy prasadam of Lord Jagannatha. Mahaprabhur alaye karila gamana, Eta Mahaprasada chahi, kaha ki karana. So they are all proceeding towards Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house. What is the reason that they are carrying so much prasadam? Bhatta kahe, Bhakta gana aila janina, Prabhura Ingita Prasadayaya Tandralana. So understanding that so many devotees have come, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered that Mahaprasadam be procured. Raja kahe, Upavasa Kshaura Tirdera Vidana, Tahana Karina Kena, Kaibe Annapana. So it is a duty when you attend a spiritual place or holy place, you have to fast there for that first day and you have to do shaving, head shave. Then without following these rules and regulations, how can they eat prasadam? See, this is one more material world rules, but spiritual world rules. Bhatta kahe, tumi ye kaha ye vidhi dharma. This is regulative principle for this material world. Ye raga marge ache sukshma dharma marma. But from the spontaneous love, the rules are different. Ishwarera paroksha ajna kshaurab upashana. This is the Lord's indirect order to fast and to have shaving. This is an indirect order. Prabhura sakshat ajna prasada bhojana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying eat prasadam. This is direct order. So you should follow the direct order or the indirect order. You should follow direct order. Tahan upavasa yaha nahi mahaprasada. When there is no mahaprasadam, then you do upavasa. Prabhu ajna prasada tyage hoya aparada. And if you do upavasa by not following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order, then you are actually disobeying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vishesha Sri Haste Prabhu kare pariveshana. Eta labha chadi kon kare upavashana. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is personally serving with his hand, why will people do upavasa and miss the opportunity of taking remnants from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's hand? Sabalana Kela Prabhu Jagannath Alaya Kirtana Aramba Taha Kaila Mahashaya. So after some time they all had their prasadam, then they all took rest, then they went to Chaitanya along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Darshana, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started Kirtana. That Kirtana is so melodious that Sandhya Dhupa Deki Arambila Sankirtana Padicha Asi Sabare Dila Malya Chandana. Then the superintendent came, after the Arati was over, he gave Malya and Chandana to all the people and Kirtan started. Chari Dike Chari Sampradaya Karena Kirtana Madhya Nrutya Kare Prabhu Sachira Nandana. Then 4 directions, 4 different troops started Sankirtana and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing in between all these 4 parties. Ashta Mrudanga Baje Battisha Kartala. There were 8 mrudangas which were playing and there were again 32 kartalas which were playing. Haridvani kare sabe bole bhala bala. And everybody was chanting this holy name of Hari Krishna. Kirtanadvani Maha Mangala Utila Chaturdasha Loka Bari Brahmanda Bedila. So this Kirtana sound was so thin that it filled the 14 planetary systems, it broke the universal covering and it went into the spiritual world. Kirtana Aramba Prema Utila Chalila Nila Chala Vasiloka Dhana Aila. When the sound of Kirtana came, all the people of Jagannath Puri came into the temple to hear that Kirtana. It was so ecstatic that people came running to hear that Kirtana. Where is that sound coming from? Kirtana Deki Sabara Mana Haila Chamatkara. All of them became so astonished when they saw that Kirtana. Kabu Nahi Deki Aiche Premera Vikara. Never ever we have seen such an ecstatic symptoms of this Vaikuntha Kirtana. This one more experience of that Kirtana. In material world, you hear some song. After some time, what will be the experience? You become frustrated. You become bored. But Vaikuntha Kirtana, people are becoming so ecstatic that even though they are not interested in their dancing or anything, everybody started dancing. Everybody started following up with that Kirtana. Tabe Prabhu Jagannatera Mandira Bhediya Pradikshana Kari Bhulena Nartana Kariya. Then they came into the Parikrama path and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started chanting and dancing in that Parikrama path. Age Pache Gana Kare Chari Sampradaya Achadera Kale Dhare Nityanandaraya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. All the 4 Sampradayas were doing heavy Kirtana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and sometimes he is falling. Nityananda Prabhu was there to pick him up and bring him back to consciousness. Ashru Pulaka Kampa Sweda Gambira Kunkara. Premera Vikara Deki Loke Chamatkara. These bodily ecstatic symptoms of the spiritual world, that ecstasy, first time people are seeing that tears are coming from their eyes. Pulaka, body was shivering. Then their Kampa, their body was, that Roma Harshana, that hairs are standing. Then Sweda, perspiration was coming. Gambira Hunkara, that loud sounds. Premera Vikara Deki Loke Chamatkara. All the people became astonished. Such an ecstatic symptoms. Pichkari Dhari Jini Ashru Nayane. The tears were coming like, Pichkari means On holy day you do that pump, pichikari it is called as. So it is like that pump which is emanating that water. Chari dikera loka sabha karaya sinana. And all the people on the four directions from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are all becoming like wet. Like that water was so heavy pressure, they are all feeling like they are taking bath. Bedra Nrutya Mahaprabhu Kari Katakshana Mandirera Pachetahi Karaya Kirtana. Then after dancing in the Parikrama path, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the backside of the temple, then Kirtana started there. Chari Dike Chari Sampradaya Ucheshware Gaya Madhya Tandava Nrutya Kare Gaura Raya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing that Tandava Nrutya. All the four Sampradayas were chanting there. Bahukshana Nrutyakari Prabhu Stira Hoila Chari Mahantera Tabe Nachite Agjadila. Then each team there was a leader. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered the leaders to chant and dance in that four Sampradayas. Eka Sampradaya Nache Nityanandaraya Advaita Acharya Nache Ara Sampradaya. So one party Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu was dancing, and another party Advaita Acharya was dancing. Ara Sampradaya Nache Pandita Vakreshwara Srivasa Nache Ara Sampradaya Bhitare. So in one more place Vakreshwara Pandit, in one more place Srinivasa Acharya were dancing. Srivas Thakur was dancing. Madhyarahi Mahaprabhu Karena Darshana Rahan Eka Aishwarya Tahan Haila Prakatana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing in the center, but all the four people were experiencing one wonder there. That everybody were thinking that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was watching me only. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had expanded into four directions so that all people, four people were experiencing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing or watching to the Chari dike nritya kita kare yata jana sabe deke Prabhu kare amara darshana. All the four directions people were thinking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is watching us only. Chari janera nritya dekita Prabhu abhilasha sei abhilasha kare aishwarya prakasha. He expanded himself in four directions to fulfill all the people dancing, so that he can experience all the four people dancing simultaneously. Darshana aveshe tandra deke matra jane kemane chaudika deke iha nahi jane. So everyone saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand that he was performing a miracle, but he did not know how he was performing that miracle. Pulina bojane yena Krishna madhyasthane chaudike sake kahe amara nehane. So when they all went for animals for that forest, and they used to have that vanabhojana, and Krishna used to sit in the center and everybody used to sit around him, and everybody used to see that Krishna is facing him on. Like gopis, when they are dancing, every gopi used to think Krishna is next to me on. This is one more Vaikuntha. There are crores of devotees, but there is only one Lord Vishnu. But everybody were able to see that one Lord Vishnu. Everybody were able to personally have association with the Lord. The same experience of Vaikuntha all the people had here. Everybody was personally seeing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was connected with them. Nritya karite ese sannidhane Mahaprabhu tara tanre druda alingane. When somebody was coming closer to them by dancing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to hug them. Maha Nritya Maha Prema Maha Sankirtana Deki Prema Vesha Bhase Nilachala Jana. So all the people of Nilachala became so ecstatic to see that Maha Nritya, Maha Prema, Maha Sankirtana. They all became also ecstatic. Got a glimpse of experience of what is Vaikuntha world, what is spiritual world, what is Golaka Vrindavana, by just being in the association of that Kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is such glorious atmosphere of Vaikuntha, so which we had a glimpse through this narration. So what the actual atmosphere would have been 1,000 times more, because whatever material world we see is only a glimpse. The original will be much more in the spiritual world. So we'll understand more details of what actually further happened. We'll stop here. Any questions or doubts? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.